On this episode of Gadget, we're taking a look at the FX line of gaming desktops from Gateway. We'd like to thank our production sponsors, the University Catholic Center, the California Province of the Society of Jesus, and Gateway. Hello, and welcome back to Gadget at thetechstop.net. It's a place where it's always time to get your geek on. I'm your host, Father Robert Ballecer of the Society of Jesus. I'm a member of the California Province of the Jesuits. We are the largest religious order in the Catholic Church, and we're here in the student lounge at the University Catholic Center on the campus of the University of Hawaii. Now, before we get to the review, I want to send a plea out there to everyone who's watching this video right now. Even if you've downloaded it in the high-resolution version from thetechstop.net, go to our YouTube page at www.youtube.com/gadgets. That's Gadget TTS. And subscribe. View our videos, rate them, comment them. You see, we're trying to move Gadget and thetechstop.net to more of an advertiser-based model, which will help us when we start asking the manufacturers for the gadgets that you want to see. So if you can, and if you have time, support us, subscribe, and rate. Now let's get on to the tech. We've got an interesting review today because, well, this is actually a outdated piece of machinery. I mean, by equipment standards, this is old. It's about 3 to 5 months old. And, well, it's not the fault of the manufacturers. Gateway didn't send us an obsolete machine. It's just that I'm lazy. I'm really lazy. I mean, uber lazy. You see, a while back, we participated in the Gateway Show Your Spots competition. We tried to win one of these desktops for our production work with a little video that we created in our spare time. Now, we didn't win, but the guys over at Gateway were nice enough, I guess they felt sorry for us, to send us the engineering sample of the 540FX. And we were supposed to use it in our production work and to review it and to show the world what the FX was all about. Well, we did use it in the production work, and it's been a fantastic piece of equipment for us. But unfortunately, I pushed it further and further back on the review schedule. Now, they don't even make this anymore, but I think it's a sound example of the FX philosophy from Gateway. The Gateway FX540XT was the first in Gateway's new line of high-performance gaming-oriented no-holds-barred desktops. It features a factory overclock Intel Core 2 Extreme Quad-Core QX6850 CPU operating at 3.66 GHz with a 1333 MHz bus and 8 MB of L2 cache. It has 4 sticks of 800 MHz DDR2 SDRAM for a total of 4 GB of memory, and everything lives on an NVIDIA N4680i LT-based motherboard that has 2 PCI Express x16, 1 PCI Express x4, 1 PCI, and 1 PCI Express standard slot. The case itself is well constructed and has a solid feel. It has a 700-watt ATX power supply, giving you plenty of power for the 540 and headroom for future upgrades. Ports are plentiful in the FX series. Aside from the one USB 2.0 port integrated into the media card reader, the front of the unit has a microphone and headphone jack, 2 more USB ports, and 2 FireWire ports. The back of the 540 has 2 PS2 connectors for keyboard and mouse, 4 more USB 2.0 ports, another FireWire port, 2 gigabit Ethernet connectors, and audio jacks that include surround sound and digital optical out. Unlocking the toolless case is simple thanks to a single lever, quick release system that lets you unlock and open the side panel with a single pull. Inside the case, you'll see that Gateway put as much thought into the organization of the various cables and ducting as they did into the specs. The case is deceptively large, with 2 5¼ bays and 2 slots for 3.5-inch drives, all with exterior access. Gateway has also included another 3 interior 3.5-inch bays for hard drives. All of the bays use quick-release slides to speed the removal of parts and upgrading of the system. Even the expansion cards can be pulled out with a simple twist of a thumbscrew. Everything is tucked away and routed to maximize airflow and accessibility to the various hotspots of the system. A large green shroud dominates the inside of the case, blowing cold air directly onto the CPU and along with the heat pipe assembly, negating the need for a noisy CPU fan. Sound is provided by a Creative Labs Sound Blaster X-Fi Extreme Gamer PCI sound card, which provides excellent surround sound gaming. Storage options are plentiful. There are two optical drives, a 16x super multifunction DVD-RW DVD RAM, and a hybrid HD DVD Blu-ray player, a feature that I really appreciate since I have quite the collection of HD DVD titles, snatched up for pennies on the dollar when Blu-ray won the format war. Main storage is provided by two 10,000 RPM serial ATA300 hard drives, set up in a RAID 0 array for blazingly fast transfers. Gateway tops off the storage features with a 9-in-1 media card reader. Of course, since the FX series is touted as a gaming rig, we have to take a look at its video horsepower. The raw strength of the 540 comes from its two mammoth eVGA PCI Express video cards that are set up in SLI mode. Each of the cards sports a factory overclocked NVIDIA 8800 GTX GPU with 768 megabytes of GDDR2 memory. Each card has two DVI dual-link ports and an S-video port for TV output. Though running the cards in SLI means that you only need a single dual-link DVI port to harness the full power of both video cards, you can also connect up to two monitors to each card, for a total of 4 monitors across the desktop. One of the really nice points of the entire FX line is that Gateway engineered large diameter fans into their cases. Larger diameter blades can move the same amount of air as their smaller diameter brethren, while spinning more slowly and therefore reducing noise. Combined with the ducted CPU cooling, the heat pipe, and the efficient cabling within the case, that means that the system is a screamer in CPU and GPU performance, but no louder than a well-designed dual-core all-purpose desktop. Enough about the specs. How does it perform? In a word, OMFG. Depending on how we tweak the BIOS, the 540 scored 5.8 to 5.9 on the Windows Vista Experience scale. In PCMark Vantage, we were getting scores between 5,900 and 6,100. It crushed all the benchmarks and left them begging for mercy. It did especially well in the gaming and storage benchmarks, really showing off the dual 10,000 RPM hard drives and the SLI video cards. In terms of real-world performance, the 540 took everything we threw at it and kept on grinning. BioShock with all the eye candy turned on wasn't even a blip on the performance screen. Crysis was handled with ease. And yes, for you WoW addicts out there, I was getting my priestly butt handed to me in beautiful, high-resolution, full frame rate Azeroth. When we journeyed outside the gaming world, we found the 540 to be even more useful with processor-intensive tasks. Production runs that had taken 30 minutes or more on our old workstation took less than 5 minutes on the 540. Adobe Premiere was blazingly fast with renders, and even folding in the background didn't seem to phase our high-resolution Photoshop sessions. All in all, this is still the fastest desktop that we've ever used, and that's a lot to say about a machine that is almost half a year old. The FX line of desktops are available now from your favorite retailers. They start at under $1,000 for the FX540B to just under $3,500 for the equally equipped FX541XT. Now, the 540FX wins the award for most testing time of any gadget we've ever played with on the show, because we've actually had it in production for a good 3 months. And it's been a rock-solid machine for us. I mean, it's running Vista, it's been doing all the production work, it's got the speed and the storage that we needed to do all of our rendering, to do all of our special effects, to really sort of give us that one-stop platform where we could combine all of our media and make the TechStop.net and Gadget. As far as negatives go, I can see only two. The first is that the review unit we received had Vista 32-bit installed, which meant that the full 4 GB of system memory could not be properly used. However, this is just because the final 64-bit version of Vista wasn't available when they shipped the unit. The new line of FX desktops are available with 64-bit Vista. The second problem is price. $3,500 for the FX540XT or the newer FX541XT is a lot of money. However, it is still less than comparable machines from competing manufacturers. Not only that, but the FX line has offerings for the budget-conscious and the performance-not alike. And who doesn't like flexibility? As far as the actual components are concerned, Gateway has chosen the top-of-the-line stuff. I mean, they're not skimping on cost, even though their desktops, again, are regularly going for 1/3 to 1/5 the price of comparable machines from other manufacturers. I see Gateway as being one of the manufacturers that kind of drive that price-performance point that helps the consumers win out. Now, if you are looking for a gaming desktop, or if you're just looking for a regular desktop that's quiet enough to do your daily work and at the same time have that little bit of extra power that you can turn on when you have to do video editing or a little bit of uber geek gaming, then might I suggest you check out the FX line of desktops from Gateway. You can find the full review of the FX gaming desktop at our website on www.thetechstop.net. If you click on the Gadget tab, you'll be able to find all of our reviews in high resolution. If you want to send us an email message, you can reach us at gadget@thetechstop.net. Well, I've been your host, Father Robert Balacer. This has been the Student Lounge at the University Catholic Center. And remember, there's no Uber Geek without you.